Get your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.
After you create a new blank Photoshop Elements document, you can place additional images into their own separate layers on top of the background layer that appears by default within the document if desired. A document file in Photoshop Elements can contain many layers. A layer is like a transparent sheet placed on top of the background layer. You place additional images and other items into their own separate layers within a document, so you can select a certain layer and then make changes to only the content in the selected layer without putting image content within the other layers at risk of accidental edits. When you use the Place command in Photoshop Elements to place an external file into an existing document, the file is inserted into its own separate Smart Object layer. The advantage to placing the file into a Smart Object layer is that you can then perform many common image editing tasks on the Smart Object layer in the Photoshop Elements document, like transforming it in various ways, without degrading the raster data in the file. However, you cannot use the raster editing tools on a Smart Object layer in Photoshop Elements. To edit a Smart Object layer using raster editing tools in Photoshop Elements, you must first rasterize or simplify the layer. However, doing that removes the advantages of the Smart Object layer. Additionally, all Smart Object layers created using the Place command in Photoshop Elements are embedded versus linked in the Photoshop Elements document. This means changes made to the original file after placing it into the document do not appear within the placed file in Photoshop Elements. You also cannot directly open and edit the contents of the embedded Smart Object layer in Photoshop Elements. These are differences from working with Smart Object layers in Photoshop for users familiar with both. To place a file in Photoshop Elements as a Smart Object layer, first open the Photoshop Elements document into which to place the file. If desired, select a blank layer in the Layers panel into which to insert the file. The selected blank layer will then be converted into a Smart Object layer after placing the file. Alternatively, if you select a layer containing existing content, like the background layer, Photoshop Elements adds the file as a new Smart Object layer on top of the selected layer. Then select File, Place from the menu bar to open the Place dialog box. In this dialog box, navigate to the file to place into the document, click it to select it, and then click the Place button to place the file into a layer as an embedded Smart Object. Note that if you are placing a PDF with multiple pages into a Photoshop Elements document, you must then select which page to place within the Open as Smart Object dialog box that appears, set any other settings as desired, and then click the OK button. The selected file then appears within a bounding box in the center of the open Photoshop Elements document. You can then apply any transforms to the Place file if desired. To change its location, click inside the bounding box and drag it to the desired location. To resize it, place your mouse pointer over one of the resizing handles around its border, and then click and drag when your mouse pointer turns into a double-pointed arrow. To rotate it, place your mouse pointer outside the bounding box until your mouse pointer turns into a bent arrow icon. Then click and drag to rotate the file. To finish placing the file, then click the Commit Current Operation checkmark button in the lower right corner of the placed file's content. Alternatively, click the Cancel Current Operation button in the lower right corner of the placed file's content next to the checkmark button to cancel the entire file placement.
Like what you see? Pick up your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.